Hello everyone, this is Smriti Vadera from Manoj Kothari and Company. Today we will be discussing about the recently introduced SEBI Settlement Scheme 2020 which was introduced by SEBI on 27th of July 2020. This presentation is only for academic purposes and is not intended to be a professional advice or opinion. SEBI Settlement Scheme 2020. Before we discuss about the scheme, I shall throw some light upon the intent of introduction of such scheme. SEBI conducted an investigation to the stock option segment of the stock exchange during financial year 18-19 and observed that large-scale reversal trades were executed by entities during a period ranging from 1st April 2014 to 30th September 2015. At this juncture, it is important to understand as to what are reversal trades. Reversal trades refer to buying and selling stocks from and to the same counterparty during the same day, or rather within few seconds at a substantially low rate. The concept is that one party to such transaction book losses and other party earns profit. This practice of booking profit and losses by creation of artificial volume of trades is non-genuine and unfair as per SEBI Prohibition of Fraudulent and Unfair Trade Practices Relating to Securities Market Regulations 2003. Accordingly, during FY 2018-19, many entities received show cause notices from SEBI pursuant to the FUTP regulations for payment of penalty under Section 15J of SEBI Act. Approximately 14,000 entities have been identified as to be dealing in non-genuine trading. However, SEBI is still issuing notices post-introduction of settlement scheme to entities for payment of the settlement amount, or otherwise adjudicating proceedings shall be initiated against these entities. The introduction of settlement scheme was a result of the direction issued by SAT in the order dated 14th October 2019 in the matter of RS Ispat Limited versus SEBI. SAT directed SEBI to either set up a Lok Adalat or any other dispute resolution mechanism for easy disposal of cases. Accordingly, to reduce the burden of proceedings, SEBI, pursuant to SEBI Settlement Proceeding Regulations 2018, introduced the SEBI Settlement Scheme 2020. Now, we come to the applicability of the scheme. The scheme is applicable to entities who were involved in non-genuine trading of illiquid stock options during a period ranging from 1st of April 2014 to 30th September 2015. Further, the proceedings of the matter must be pending before any of the authorities for availing the scheme. The validity or tenure of the scheme is only for 3 months, that is from 1st of August 2020 to 31st October 2020. Settlement mechanism. What is this mechanism? Settlement mechanism is a one-time settlement opportunity for easy disposal of pending cases relating to trading of stock options. This mechanism links the information of the PAN card of the entities, and the amount of settlement which is to be calculated by SEBI is directly proportionate to the artificial volume created by the entities. If we talk about the process of getting into the settlement mechanism, firstly, entities have to identify whether they are eligible or not. That is, whether they have received any letter or show cause notice issued by SEBI and the proceedings in the matter are pending. If yes, the entity has to go to the SEBI portal for determination of the settlement amount as per the trading executed by the entity. As we are talking about the settlement amount, we have to understand that how the settlement amount is calculated. SEBI has provided 3 indicative criteria for determining the settlement amount. This includes the artificial volume created by the entities, number of non-genuine trades executed, and number of contracts resulting in creation of the artificial trades. Based on these criteria, a settlement amount is auto-calculated by the SEBI, to which a uniform consolidated settlement factor of 0.55 is applied. In this case, the entity is only required to provide the details of PAN of the entity, and all other information, including the settlement amounts, get auto-filled. At this point, the entity also has to decide whether the entity will pay penalty to SEBI or settle the proceedings under the scheme. In many cases, it has been observed that the settlement amount calculated as per the scheme is much higher than the penalty. Generally, entities settle the proceedings at an amount which is lower than the penalty. However, in the pursuant case, many entities have reported the concern to SEBI that the settlement amount is much higher than the penalty. If in case entities agree to pay the settlement amount determined by SEBI directs them to pay the processing fee for the scheme, and subsequently the settlement amount for completion of the settlement mechanism. Post payment of the fees, SEBI shall issue a composite settlement order to the entities. We have already discussed the process. Here, we may also discuss about the documents required to be submitted to SEBI while making an application for settlement. Firstly, entities applying for the settlement scheme has to submit copy of its PAN card, undertaking and waiver. This is a general undertaking that is that is the declaration that they neither deny or accept allegations imposed by SEBI, and the entity is also required to attach the income tax returns for last 3 financial years. Once these documents are uploaded, the entities are directed to pay processing fee, that is rupees 25,000 for bodies corporate and 15,000 for other than bodies corporate. After payment of processing fee, entity has to pay the determined settlement amount. The entities availing the settlement scheme is also required to submit physical copy of the settlement application along with the copy of PAN, undertaking and waivers, ITR of last 3 financial year, a proof of payment of processing fee, and the settlement amount. Please note that there is no timeline prescribed for filing the physical copy of the application. However, all the process of the settlement should be completed before 31st of October 2020. Please also note that if entities do not avail for the scheme, the adjudicating proceedings going on behalf of the entity shall continue as it is. To read our detailed analysis on the topic, you may refer to our write-up on our website. Further, for more write-ups on similar topics, you may visit our website, Vinod Kothari and Company. Thank you.